Hey there, fellow soil enthusiasts. If you've been following along with us here at Grow with Soil, you know I'm always diving deep into the nitty-gritty of composting. Today, I want to tackle a question that comes up constantly in our gardening community. When you're building that perfect compost pile which breaks down faster, cardboard or food scraps, I've been experimenting with different composting materials for over a decade now, and let me tell you, this comparison has some surprising twists. Whether you're just starting your first compost bin or you're a seasoned gardener looking to optimize your decomposition game, understanding how these two essential ingredients behave will completely transform your composting strategy. Food scraps win the speed race, hands down. Most kitchen scraps will break down in 2 to 6 months under optimal conditions, while cardboard typically takes 3 to 12 months to fully decompose. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about speed. Each material plays a completely different role in creating that black gold we're all after. Before we dive into the decomposition derby, let's talk about what we're really dealing with here. Food scraps are your greens. They're nitrogen-rich, moisture-heavy, and full of easily digestible materials that soil microbes absolutely devour. Think vegetable peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, and fruit rinds. Cardboard, on the other hand, is a brown material. It's carbon-rich, dry, and provides structure to your pile. When I say cardboard, I'm talking about corrugated boxes, egg cartons, toilet paper rolls, and paper towel tubes. Just make sure you're using plain cardboard without glossy coatings, tape, or staples. The reason your banana peels disappear faster than your Amazon boxes comes down to basic chemistry and biology. Food scraps have high water content, sometimes up to 80 to 90%, which creates an ideal environment for bacterial activity. These materials also contain simple sugars, proteins, and other compounds that microorganisms can break down relatively easily. I've watched apple cores completely disappear in my compost pile within 6 weeks during summer months, while that same corrugated box I added at the same time was still recognizable months later. The high nitrogen content in food scraps also feeds the bacteria that drive the composting process, creating heat and accelerating decomposition. Temperature plays a huge role here too. Food scraps generate heat as they decompose, and this thermal activity speeds up the entire process. In my hot compost system, I've seen the pile reach 140 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and at those temperatures, even tougher food scraps like citrus peels break down surprisingly quickly. Now, don't underestimate cardboard just because it's the tortoise in this race. Cardboard is made primarily of cellulose and lignin complex carbon compounds that require different types of microorganisms to break down. The process is slower, but honestly, it's incredibly valuable for your soil structure. What I love about cardboard is how it behaves during decomposition. It starts by softening and separating into layers, then gradually breaks apart into smaller and smaller pieces. The corrugated structure actually helps aerate your compost pile, creating air pockets that prevent anaerobic conditions and that dreaded sulfur smell. I've noticed that cardboard breakdown accelerates significantly when it's properly prepared. Shredding or tearing cardboard into smaller pieces can cut decomposition time in half. Soaking it in water before adding to your pile also jumpstarts the process. The key is increasing surface area for microbial action while ensuring adequate moisture penetration. Here's where experienced composters have a huge advantage over beginners. We know that cardboard and food scraps aren't competitors, they're dance partners. The ideal compost pile uses both materials in roughly a 30-to-1 carbon to nitrogen ratio, which translates to about 3 parts brown materials, like cardboard, to 1 part green materials, like food scraps. Food scraps provide the nitrogen that fuels microbial activity, while cardboard provides the carbon structure that keeps your pile from becoming a soggy, smelly mess. When you layer them properly, the fast decomposing food scraps actually help create conditions that speed up cardboard breakdown too. I found that alternating thin layers works best. I'll add a 4-inch layer of shredded cardboard, then top it with 2 inches of food scraps, then another cardboard layer. This creates a balanced environment where neither material dominates, and both decompose more efficiently than they would alone. Temperature, moisture, and oxygen levels can dramatically alter decomposition rates for both materials. In my experience, the same food scraps that might break down in 6 weeks during hot summer months could take 4 to 5 months during winter. Cardboard shows even more seasonal variation. I've seen pieces that took 8 months to decompose in cool weather break down in just 3 months when conditions were optimal. Moisture is particularly critical for cardboard. Dry cardboard can sit in your pile almost indefinitely, while properly moistened cardboard starts breaking down within weeks. I always soak my cardboard pieces until they're damp but not dripping before adding them to the pile. Shredding makes an enormous difference too. Whole cardboard boxes might take over a year to fully decompose, while the same cardboard shredded into 2-inch strips typically breaks down in 3 to 4 months. It's all about surface area and microbial access. If your food scraps aren't breaking down quickly, you're probably dealing with one of 3 issues: insufficient oxygen, wrong moisture levels, or temperature problems. Food scraps in anaerobic conditions will putrefy rather than compost, creating odors and slowing decomposition significantly. For cardboard that seems stuck in your pile, the usual culprit is lack of moisture or nitrogen. Cardboard needs both water and nitrogen-rich materials nearby to decompose efficiently. I've rescued slow-moving cardboard by adding more food scraps and giving the pile a good watering. Want to speed up the entire process? Focus on preparation and ratios. Chop food scraps into smaller pieces. This dramatically increases surface area for microbial attack. Shred or tear cardboard into strips no wider than 2 inches. Keep moisture levels around 40 to 60%, so the pile should feel like a wrung-out sponge, and turn your compost every 2 to 3 weeks to maintain oxygen levels. The magic happens when you create the right environment for both materials simultaneously. Hot composting techniques can get you finished compost in as little as 8 to 12 weeks, with both food scraps and cardboard fully decomposed. Remember, patience pays off in composting. While food scraps might disappear quickly, that slower decomposing cardboard is building soil structure and creating long-term benefits for your garden. Both materials are essential players in creating the rich, complex compost that makes plants thrive. So, there you have it. Food scraps win the speed contest, but cardboard brings essential qualities that make your finished compost far superior to what either material could create alone. The real winner is your garden when you use both materials strategically. Ready to level up your composting game? Make sure you're subscribed to Grow with Soil for more deep dive gardening content, and share this article with fellow gardeners who want to master the art of decomposition. Your soil will thank you, and so will your plants.